Hello, I wanted to do a video about checking your oil. In this particular car, a 2005 Hyundai Accent GLS, I tend to check the oil every week. It loses a little bit of oil, and I check it every week. And I was doing it today and figured, hey, why not create a video of how I do that, which is pretty simple. And if it helps, great. So let me know what you think. So here are the tools that I use to check my oil. As you can see, no wrenches, screwdrivers, sockets, or anything like that. It's just the measuring cup for the oil to measure the oil, a funnel, the oil itself, and some rags or paper towels, whatever you want to use to clean up after yourself. So that's it. Let's get to work and see how I use these. So I always start by wiping down the outside of the engine oil filler cap and the outside of the dipstick handle, just so that there's no debris or dirt or dust or anything like that that's out on the outside, so that when I pull out the dipstick or I open up the filler cap, nothing's going to get inside the engine or inside the dipstick tube. It's just a precaution. You don't have to do that. I just like to wipe it down because it takes 2 seconds to do it, and it's a little more of a preventative measure. What's the saying? An ounce of prevention, something, 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 or whatever the case may be. But so I'll wipe that down first. Then you want to wipe down the inside and the outside of the funnel itself. Any oil that may have collected from the last time you used it, or any dirt or dust that may be on the outside of it, just wipe it down. Just keep in mind any liquid, in this case oil, but anything that goes down the funnel or anything that's in the funnel is going to go down the funnel with whatever liquid you pour into the funnel. So if there's dust that's accumulated, or some bugs that may have crawled into your funnel when when it's sitting in your garage, in between your oil checks, that's going to go right down the funnel, and then that's going to end up in your engine, and you don't want that. So again, just a little bit of a preventative measure. Just wipe it down. And nothing special. Just make sure, eyeball it. Make sure there's nothing physically in there, and just wipe it down with a lint-free rag if you can. But in this case, I use paper towels. Now, when you measure your oil into your measuring cup, you want to do so on a flat surface. As you can see here, I put it on my sidewalk, and the sidewalk is level, so you want to make sure that you're reading the correct amount of ounces that you're putting into the measuring cup, so that you know how much you're putting in your engine. Now, I'm pretty diligent in tracking exactly how much engine oil loss I have per week, which then I track over a month and then per year, just so I can get an idea of how much oil my car is losing, so that I can keep an eye on whether it's getting progressively worse, or if some of the engine treatments that I put inside are helping, making the problem a little bit less significant. But overall, you just want to get a general idea of what you're putting in there, because you'll notice on the dipstick itself, there's a full and an empty mark. And those markings are about 2 inches apart, 1.5 inches apart, and that generally represents 1 quart of oil. So 32 ounces in 1 quart of oil. You'll pretty much get to recognize that if it's exactly on empty, that you're exactly 1 quart low, which is exactly 32 ounces of oil. So if you're not exactly on empty, but you're halfway, then you know that it's kind of, around 16. So you'll kind of learn how to judge that. But the point being that you just want to measure it flat so that you know exactly how much you're putting in there. And then, you might have an ounce or so, or half an ounce that doesn't quite get in there because the oil actually sticks to the side of the measuring cup or sticks to the side of the funnel. But that's kind of splitting hairs. Generally speaking, you'll be all right if you just measure it out to, say, in this case, 18 ounces, and then you put 18 ounces in, and then you can check it. So once you measure out the oil in the measuring cup, go ahead and put that in the funnel. Just pour it in a little bit slowly. You don't want to just turn the measuring cup completely upside down and let all the oil run down the funnel, because sometimes what can happen is if all the oil doesn't drain out the bottom of the funnel sufficiently, it'll backfill into the funnel, and then sometimes it'll come out the oil filler cap hole and get all over the top of the valve cover, and you don't want that to happen. So it just creates a little bit of a mess. It won't create a problem per se. So just put in a little bit slowly and make sure that the oil's going down and isn't getting too backfilled there. After all the oil is pulled in, we want to go ahead and check the oil level. So pull out the dipstick. I like to wipe the dipstick as I'm pulling it out so that it's nice and clean. Then when I reinsert it and pull it out, the highest level of oil will be somewhere in between the full and empty mark, and then I know how much more I need to put in to top it off. And hopefully I didn't put in too much. You don't want it to be above the full. But assuming that we're good, you can reinsert the dipstick, and that's all the oil we have to put in. You can go ahead and take out the funnel. Be careful to wipe off the bottom of the funnel as you pull it out, because some oil will drip off of it. Screw on the oil fill cap again. Don't want to over tighten it, just snug enough. In my case, it clicked a couple times. I didn't want to go more than 2 or 3 times. That's good enough. And that way nothing else can get inside the engine now that we've filled that cup up, or put the filler cap back on. And that gives us some time to go ahead and clean off our funnel, clean up our measuring cup, and throw any scrap paper towels or rags or anything that we have to get cleaned up. And that's how I use those 4 tools to change my oil. As I said earlier, it's a pretty simple process. Just felt like documenting it since I was going through it. Hopefully it helps some of you. I plan on posting more videos in the future. Hopefully I'll be on a more regular basis with posting videos as well. So if you have any questions about this video, let me know. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. You'll get notified when I post some new videos. And I appreciate everyone watching. Thank you.